I'm Lisa and welcome to BioTrek Sailing. I got to apologize for the last video. I posted it on YouTube and didn't realize that one of the music tracks was missing, so no music at the beginning and one of the music tracks while we were sailing, but you hear the ocean noise, so hopefully that was all right. Tiller's still missing us because we had a quick trip back home and she was left in St. Lucia with a babysitter, and she's still kind of missing us and glad to be back on the boat. Just before I begin this video, here's a snapshot. I'm a neurobiologist and I just love biology and I love scuba diving in our oceans, and I'm wondering if you can guess what this is. Answer at the end of the video. So in our last episode we sailed from the Tobago Keys to Bequia and on to St. Vincent. But in this episode we're going to step back in time and revisit our trip to the Caribbean. And I think it's kind of timely to do that just as Hurricane Henry is bearing down on Massachusetts and heading directly for Kingman Marina, where we kept boats for many years, including a 26-foot monohull that we sailed around Buzzards Bay. And I heard on the news last night that Buzzards Bay is going to get hit. So basically you don't know where you're going to be safe anymore. And we thought by going to the Caribbean and staying south of the active zone, meaning if there is a hurricane here in St. Lucia, generally it's a little less severe. You see the maximum they've ever had is Category 2. So maybe not so crazy after all.
Tropical Storm Elsa.
But in this episode I wanted to step back in time to finish some video I took of some repairs that we did in Saint Martin. And we went to Saint Martin because BioTrek is now 2 years old. And so we're coming up to the end of the warranty and we had some warranty work done. And also Saint Martin is a beautiful island and just a terrific place to have boat work done. And after we arrived there was a hummingbird crisis because there was a hummingbird nest on a boat that was about to leave for the United States. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that, and I'm also going to show at the end of the video a mystery we figured out with the leaking water, salt water leaking into the port bilge that's been haunting me for 2 years. We knew that it only happened when the air conditioning was on, and last winter when we were live aboard on BioTrek in November and it was snowing outside and we had the heat on, so reverse air conditioning, we had a lot of water in the bilge. And so when we hauled out for the winter, we had a through hull taken out that we thought was the guilty culprit, and you'll find out in this video that wasn't the guilty culprit. And when you're looking for a water leak, it takes a lot of hunting. But anyways, coming back to why we took BioTrek south just before hurricane zone. So we've experienced some pretty bad weather in the Northeast. You can get bad weather in the summer. There's thunder and lightning, as well as sometimes you do get tropical storms heading up the coast. And we reasoned that after spending a whole winter in an apartment during COVID, we'd really like to be able to be in some beautiful turquoise water in the Caribbean. And if we head south past the active zone, that would be, you know, a great way to spend the summer. And there's an airport here, so to fly home and visit family, it's an easy thing as long as you don't mind flying during COVID. So we scheduled this trip to Saint Martin, but I was a little nervous because it's the beginning of June, which is the beginning of hurricane season, and you know, hurricanes can happen anytime, even outside of hurricane season. And a lot of the charter boats were getting ready to take to be taken down to Grenada and hauled out for the summer, and especially for the active season in the fall. But the repairs always take longer than you think, and so time kind of went on. We kept an eye on the weather, so if something was coming, we were going to head to further south. When we left Rhode Island, we didn't see a drone going by, but a photographer from Rhode Island took a beautiful picture of BioTrek, and here it is. And we sailed to Antigua. We enjoyed very much exploring a little bit in Antigua, but we were anxious to get onto Saint Martin to get the repairs done. So we headed off with an overnight in Barbuda. Beautiful, beautiful beaches in Barbuda. Just love to go back there. Really kind of reminiscent of the Bahamas, with the beautiful turquoise waters, very sandy, and went up to Saint Martin for our repairs. Now we did have a representative from Outre-mer, Terry, who I introduced in a previous episode. He has a beautiful charter catamaran for sale. Generally people in France know how to enjoy life and they don't work on the weekends, so we were able to take our little dog Tiller to the beach, which she just loves. And you can see from this scene of the beach why we were kind of anxious to get the work done and get on south, because Saint Martin has really had some terrible hurricanes. And these scenes are from the hurricane hit, and I think it was 2017, and still some buildings not repaired, although the island is pretty much back to normal. There's our boat. So as soon as we arrived in the marina, we heard about a hummingbird that was aboard an American boat, and that boat was supposed to leave later that week, and yet the babies had not yet flown the nest, a big dilemma. And then I was actually at customs checking something out, and the couple with the boat were in there checking out. They were going to leave a day early, so I went and removed the nest early in the morning before anyone from the marina was up. C'est Alain.
C'est Alain, bonjour.
Bonjour.
La marina Fort Louis. On a un petit souci, enfin, on a deux petits colibris sur un bateau. La maman fait le nid. On va d'ailleurs les filmer. Et le bateau doit partir vendredi. Alors ça pose un problème parce qu'ils ne sont pas encore en âge de voler. Alors il faut trouver une solution.
Right. This is the boat in question, and you're going to see how sad this case is. There's the nest in the sun a bit, and there you can see the little birds.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Ça, c'est la mère qui nous surveille. It's the mother who's watching us. It's not. As long as it goes to someone else's boat.
Et le nid, il est où le nid?
Moi je l'ai.
That's why it's taken there.
So where are they now?
They're right there.
Oh yeah.
Put the nest on
Oh, are those are the two babies?
Yeah.
One is stronger than the other one. The one that
But they're
way
together
up
now.
front- The one way up front is stronger.
Yeah, because I guess he's the first one who fly.
That one, see?
Oh, it flew before I got it zoomed in.
See, looking for the nest.
So where you gonna put it?
I want to put it under the dock.
Under the
Somewhere,
dock?
Under the. Don't leave it like that. It's getting wet.
It's raining out.
How you know where to put it?
I'll just rest it somewhere under the
How
dock.
they gonna know where to go?
They're gonna smell it.
Oh yeah?
Well, it's
Well, they're
sticking
going to smell.
around.
What about putting it on under the? See that one of them's under the dinghy over there. If that boat's not going out, why don't we just put it under the dinghy? The charter boat.
In the water.
No, that boats go out every day, almost every day.
See?
He practicing. He just
Yeah, he
flight 30
practicing.
minutes ago, so.
Let me go look at the thing. Yeah, come on.
I thought I saw.
Yeah, one flew over there.
Now we got two of them. guy from the other boat told me that the mother was hanging out on the catamaran. So maybe they went over there because of that. It's the cutest little nest.
Yeah.
Where it was?
It was on a boat.
It's the mother there because it's bigger than the other ones.
Les sauveteurs d'oiseaux.
Vous allez le mettre en dessous, c'est ça?
Oui. Faut que ça soit à l'abri de la pluie.
Eh oui.
Oui, t'as un hold it, demi-pipe.
Il n'y a pas d'oiseaux dedans.
Non.
Il y a des bébés.
Mais je pense que le problème, c'est trop touché avec l'humain. Mais on va essayer.
On va essayer, ouais.
Bah oui.
Rapproche-toi, là.
On peut pas. Oui, il aurait pas fallu mettre les toucher avec les doigts.
Mais
Ouais.
hier, je vous ai dit ça.
Ben regarde-toi.
J'avais appelé, mais c'était trop tard. Julie a déjà touché.
I gotta make sure they don't get wet. Okay, I see one for them.
Ok.
Shit, le nid risque de tomber, là.
Vous montez?
Ok, allez.
Oui.
Pousse-moi dans la main.
Tu peux pas. Ah oui. Mais
Pas trop loin.
Julien.
Ok, I see one for them.
Prends Julien. Donne-le
Come, give to me.
vite.
Oh là là.
Come on.
Oh oui, oui,
Yeah.
it's really wet. Well, hopefully that works. Les deux petits sont là.
Ça c'est super.
Les deux petits sont sur le voilier là. La maman est là.
Ok, allez.
C'est bon? Attention la tête. Tu penses que la mère va trouver le nid là?
Oh, je sais pas.
Là, c'est la même qui l'a construit, elle est censée...
On va surveiller.
Vous voulez une photo du nid en bas?
Oui.
Personne n'a confiance en toi.
Ah oui, c'est la maman et Pépi. When I went to get the nest off the deck, it actually removed very easily, and then we saw the bird flew about 10 feet to the line of the boat that they were going to detach, then to the box, and then to the catamaran. And then when you left, everyone on the dock was saying, well, that's where the mother is. So they're together on the catamaran, which, you know, was like, wow. But, so the people from the marina wanted to get the nest because they thought the babies were flying around and they were going in the nest at night. So now they've put the nest under the dock on a beam right in front of the catamaran. But whether the mother will find it or not, we don't know. But as they were busy doing that, we could see one of the babies on just one of the lifelines of a monohull on the dock, and then the mother flew over and started feeding it. So it looks like those babies are going to survive. And everyone's so happy. Got the whole marina involved in rescuing those babies, and the boat that decided to leave a day early, so.
Personne n'a confiance en toi.
Oh oui, c'est la maman et Pépi. So you're replacing the block that broke with the one that's too large? But
No, the spare we had on board was too large. So now I'm moving the one which is too large or harder, and I'm putting back a 75, which I just installed.
okay. Okay, so it's the next morning, and we can see the boat is left, but I see hummingbirds flying around. Let's see if I can catch one on camera. Well, there's one right there. There's one right there. And by the size, that looks like a baby. see the others. I haven't seen any flying under the dock, so I don't think the idea of putting the nest under the dock really worked. I think the babies were just old enough. They're going to hang around on these boats until they can not being fed by their mother anymore. So here's where we always had water in the bilge. And there was a through hole that we thought was leaking because it was salt water. We had that filled when the boat was on the hard because it wasn't being used, and that didn't solve the problem. So here in Saint Martin, we're trying to figure out where the water was coming from. We knew that the water was only coming when the air conditioning was on. So looking at the air conditioner in our bedroom, following these pipes, which are saltwater cooling pipes, eventually found the problem was inside this bench, which is a little bench on beside the bed. And if you take off the panel, you can see that the through hull, that's where it was leaking. So we've gone to buy another junction. Now it's a bit strange because I keep my winter clothes in here. There's normally a panel there, and it was never wet, but the water was leaking down the hull, and there's a panel here. The water was leaking down the hull, and so the clothes weren't getting wet. It didn't look like it was coming from here. Basically, we've been chasing all over the boat to find this leak. We have another hatch here, and we looked in here. We could see the pipes were running, and there was a bit of water here. But I have plastic on the bottom, so I didn't see it initially. And that's normally my wine cellar. So I had to take all the bottles of wine out. So this is under the bed. And we looked in there. There was no water in there. So that's an accumulator. And you can open this cover, and then inside there's a float pump, so when the water in that box rises up, then it'll pump it out. And so that's the outlet for the air conditioning. We tested that, and we didn't have the water. A minor thing that was repaired is to change one of the bilge pumps that wasn't functioning. It was a brand of pump, and so there were 4 of them changed, 1 in each hull and 1 in the engine room. So we changed out and put in that white pump. Raconte comment t'as su c'est eu la fuite, donc on a eu depuis 12 ans.
Après recherche de problèmes sur le circuit d'eau de la clim, je me suis rendu compte que c'était au niveau de refroidissement de l'aspiration de mer pour refroidir les compresseurs de clim. Et après une recherche de tout le circuit, derrière un placard, on a trouvé le tuyau qui fuyait. Et c'était mal monté, pas bien serré.
Et maintenant?
Et maintenant, ça ne fait plus. Impeccable.
Perfect. So now Terry's onto something else. So I just put the panel back, and I'm going to put my winter clothes, and I also have Faraday bags with some discs and things like that I keep in here. There we go. Looking good. And there it is, master cabin put back together after finding the leak. So here's the answer to that quiz. So this is actually not something that you would see underwater. It looks like it might be, but it's not some beautiful coral. It's actually a picture of a Drosophila neuromuscular junction. Drosophila being a fruit fly. And the neurons are stained in red, and the boutons are in, the synaptic boutons are stained in green. isn't it just as beautiful as something you would see underwater? I enjoy very much your comments and answering questions, so please leave comments below. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. So there are lots of things going on in the boat this week in Saint Martin. Some repairs to the carbon fiber where it got hit at the crossbeam, and that's because it's an important structural part of the boat and they really have an expert here. Also some repairs on the crossbar where we had where the anchor would hit, and before we kind of discovered the best way to bring up the anchor without it hitting. So that was really done when we first owned the boat, but they'll fix that at the same time. We had some cracks in the davit that we were worried about, but it turns out it's cracks in the Sikaflex. But they have looked a little deeper just to make sure, and so that's all good, and that'll just be repaired for cosmetic. And yeah, so we're kind of getting a lot done here that's great for the boat, and fixing some of the things that broke over the Gulf Stream, like the block, and oh yeah, there was a cleat where the rope got caught on a cleat and it broke, so we've got a new one that's going to be installed. Lots of little repairs. You know, when you do long distance under rough conditions, things do break on boats. You do need to have spare parts. Saint Martin is great. You can buy everything here. Pierre's just gone off to walk the dog, and then we're off to the sailmaker to get some straps for the mainsail. And all's good on BioTrack right now. So the loop just has Velcro. The nightly walk just before curfew, or maybe just after. Nice grass, the best place for a dog to do her business rather than the little square on the boat. 8 o'clock at night, curfew. No cars on the road.